it kind of starts with me recognizing that I've always liked having my hands in a bunch of different things all at once. And I think when I was earlier in my career, what I used to worry about was that nothing could hold my attention long enough, and what a bad thing that might be, right? And um, I think in the more recent years, I've come to really embrace that as a superpower of mine. So I started in enterprise software systems consulting. And over the course of 15 or so years, I eventually transitioned into operations and then into revenue leadership. I held several go to market leadership roles at LinkedIn and then most recently at Cameo before I left, and I'm doing what I'm doing now. And that's a complete 180, right? Sales and go to market leadership is a complete 180 from what was effectively IT and systems IT. And I think embracing that and, what I said earlier about that being kind of my superpower, it's something that I actually share a lot with folks as I'm mentoring them now, because I really, really believe that understanding the functions that you're working with actually make you better in your job. I'm better as a revenue leader because I understand what it means to be in the operations side. And then as a bonus, I understand what it means to operationalize things from a systems perspective too. I was getting ready to go back to work after taking an amazing year-long career break. And I think I believed that while I was on my break, I took enough time to kind of recenter myself, really decide what I wanted. And I ended up just kind of jumping back on the let's get a full-time job train. I explored a handful of opportunities with different companies and great people, but nothing felt juicy enough for me. Nothing felt different enough for me. I think in most of the conversations I had exploring different roles, where I ended up feeling was, I think I kind of know what that job is going to be like, And I think that most people, lots of folks in my network, are happy to continue to capitalize on the experience and the expertise that they've built over the years, right? Why not continue to? It's it's um it's never felt like that's kind of the path that I want to be on. And I think that listening to the Pathless Path with Paul Millard, it gave me a little bit more confidence in thinking, I think what I want to do is actually do something completely different. I want this next half of my career to look completely different from the first half. I want to be deeply entrenched in the world of startups, super venture curious. And and on top of that, I think what I need to do is find my tribe of people who are also doing those things. I think it's hard to believe that there are so many people who are doing fractional work, doing consulting work. But when you really look for it, it's out there. I remember when I first started having these thoughts, I was talking with folks in my network. The feedback I was getting back was, do people do that? Like, do people really do fractional CRO work? Like, how do you actually drive a revenue organization if you're just part time or not completely committed to a company? And as it turns out, there are plenty of people who do that, and a lot of those folks have inspired me to do what I do now, which is, uh, I guess one of the things I do now is I work with startups, early stage startups, B2B, and I do part time CRO work.